Hello, Heal Squad. We've got a great two-parter coming up with Dave Asprey, the father of biohacking. So excited for these two episodes, you guys. We had such full conversations about so many topics. But part one, we're talking about white light, how bad it is for you, why exactly it's bad for you, and how grocery stores are using this against you, LEDs, and why they're not as energy efficient as they promote, and why they possibly are around. Clothing to mitigate risks while traveling, mitigating risks of EMFs and such things. What to look for in headphones with regards to exposure for EMFs, what the safest thing to do is and the unsafest thing, and so much more. I hope you enjoy. Hello, hello, Heal Squad. Get ready for another great episode of Heal Squad. And I'm not just saying that because I say it all the time, but really this is amazing. So Dave Asprey is on the show today. We're going to start with our quote of the day. Can't is always a lie. Learn to see it that way and you'll solve problems differently. That is from Dave himself. Guys, he is known as the father of biohacking. He's an acclaimed health scientist, health science entrepreneur, the founder of Bulletproof Coffee and now Danger Coffee, which used to be in this beautiful mug I got at Macy's before I drank it all. Four-time New York Times bestselling author, host of an award-winning podcast, top 100 podcast, The Human Upgrade. His mission is to empower and enable people to lead happier, more conscious lives by using biohacking techniques and technology to improve the functioning and destiny of the body and mind. He is in it, guys, and he has studied so much, and he has a huge biohacking conference that is coming up on its 10th anniversary. Most recently, he launched the 5-day intensive programming for upgrading the brain, 40 years of Zen. It's an exclusive retreat that combines neuroscience, nutrition, and neurofeedback practices. He's got so much going on, but today we're happy to have him here on the Heal Squad for part one of my conversation. I hope you enjoy. So I know we both believe in the power of the sunlight, and you're wearing very tinted blue light glasses. Are mine not tinted enough?
They're not tinted enough.
Mine are 60% though. What are yours?
75. But
that's why.
It's not the percentage that matters as much as people think. So these are True Light. This is one of the first, in fact, it's probably the first modern light therapy glasses company for circadian biology. And these are blocking the light under 490 nanometers. So if you imagine, there's this much.
I need to understand the nanometers stuff because it's so hard. I hear it all the time and I'm like, oh God, that sounds so arduous to learn.
It's super technical, but there's an easy way to think about it.
Okay, good.
So blue light is a spectrum, like from light blue to dark blue, you could think about, right? So you
like
can,
the blue light behind you, like any kind of colored blue light.
Yeah, like there's different colors of blue, right? So that means blue starts somewhere and ends somewhere.
Yeah, because the blue light from your phone you don't really see.
Right.
That's on the lightest spectrum.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's sometimes blended with other colors, so it looks white, but it's got blue in it.
Okay, right? But what if you're on JetBlue and you've got that real blue light in the airplane?
I hate that stuff. These glasses block it entirely. It makes me so much happier when I fly. So if you have the whole spectrum of blues, well, some of the colors of blue are way more stressful on your eyes and your brain and your mitochondria. So what these glasses do, instead of blocking 75% of everything, just letting a little bit of all of it through, these block all of the toxic blue, which happens to be the blue under 490. But you don't have to know 490. Just know True Dark glasses block toxic blue light, but let healthy blue light through.
Because the sun has blue light in it, and it's important for us. But, you know, and I think that's the message that might get a little convoluted when we're talking about how blue light is so toxic.
Yeah.
It's not all blue light. I'm glad you made that distinguishment.
It's not all blue light. It's also the dose. So if you think about it, you're saying, well, you know, maybe some sugar isn't bad for you because it's in fruit, right? So I'm going to have an orange. But then if you get an LED light that's supposed to be like an orange, like, well, it's an orange, it's got sugar in it, and they add 5 pounds of sugar on top of it. Well, it's still an orange. It just has a lot more of this one element in it. So when we're using LED lights, we're getting a lot more blue than is present in sunlight. And the counter color to blue, surprisingly, is red. And that's why red light therapy is so important in the world of biohacking. That's why I started bringing this in In fact, True Light, which is my light therapy company, has been around for almost 10 years now.
Oh, so those glasses are your company. Got it.
These are True Dark glasses, and then we make some light therapy stuff. And I want to be clear, there's lots of red light therapy out there, red, infrared. There's so much innovation in the field. I just wanted a low-cost device, because when I started doing this, I had to spend $10,000 to buy a red light therapy device, and that seemed a bit crazy.
Yeah.
So I charged like $100 to $300 or $400 for most of those things. And it's not a big focus of all the companies I do. But the idea here is getting it right matters. So your glasses are blocking 60% of all of the colors of blue, but they're letting the toxic blue in.
Wow.
And I see all these people, it drives me crazy. Like, yeah, okay, I saw a podcast on biohacking. Now I'm a biohacker. I'm going to make glasses that block all of the blue light. If you don't get any blue light, that's the signal to wake up in the morning, right? So you can have no blue light is toxic, the wrong color of blue light is toxic, and too much blue light in general is toxic. So we just need to get the target into the middle. And then all of a sudden, your sleep changes. I'm the guy who would sleep 5 minutes of deep sleep per night 15 years ago, and I get 90 minutes now because I control my light exposure and my food timing. And I've been measuring my sleep for 15 years.
Meaning your deep REM sleep. You're sleeping more than 90 minutes a night.
I sleep 6.5 hours a night.
Yeah.
And I get 90 minutes of deep sleep, which is more than most college students get. They tend to have more. And 90 minutes of REM sleep. And it varies depending on, what I do, but I know how to control it, and it's not a problem for me the way it had been for most of my life. And if I don't wear these glasses under studio lighting, by the end of the day, I'm a zombie.
I know. I hate being in here.
Yeah.
I'm building an outdoor studio.
Good for you.
I hate it because I don't feel well. Like I've had to just take down my schedule so intensely in here because I can't do it for long. Or I hate being in here even for 5 minutes.
I built a studio where I work in Austin at my home there. And I found studio lights that let me control the color of the light. And the higher the number of K, you'll see lights that are 6,000 K or 5,500 K. The bright white blue light that makes you want to crawl inside your skin. I hate those lights.
Ugh, like the ones in hospitals?
Yeah, or grocery stores,
yeah,
right?
I can't.
I wear a baseball.
Maybe that's why I hate grocery stores.
It is.
I barely go shopping. I hate how cold they are and I hate the lights.
The lights are so nasty, but they do it for a reason. They're stunning you, which makes you make more stupid decisions to buy packaged food. If you put on True Light glasses and a baseball hat and you go shopping, you'll buy healthy food. And if you walk in there just completely taking 70% of your cognitive function with toxic lighting and not knowing why, you just feel like you just buy all the sugary stuff.
You don't feel good, so you're buying the shit.
Yeah, and your body just tells you, get energy now, and then you just spend. And it's not like there's a big bad grocer who's deciding to do this. They're just saying, what kind of lighting maximizes sales? The kind of lighting that makes you stupid.
Stop it. They actually think that way?
They do everything.
Okay, so does Erewhon do that? I know Erewhon's like super popular with people.
I was just at Erewhon yesterday. In fact, they were the first place that ever carried my former coffee brand, Bulletproof, before I started Danger Coffee. And I was just talking with Arturo there. And no, they're the healthiest lighting. If you go in, it's not nearly as bright as you would find.
It's not bright. That's why I'm asking, because I went in
Erewhon
recently. For whatever reason, I forget. I don't normally shop there because they charge like $30,000 for an apricot.
But they have really good apricots.
But yeah, I was like, oh my Lord, these people. But it is a pleasurable experience.
Yeah. It's how you feel when you walk in a room. If people would just stop and have a little process running that's like, how's my body doing right now? Am I feeling tense and anxious? Or am I feeling at peace? Most of us don't track that. And then if you do track it, if you start feeling anxious, you think, well, it's because someone yelled at me. It's these thoughts in my head. But what's really going on is if your body is stressed by the environment that it's in, it's going to tell you you are stressed. And then you're going to think it's your mom or whatever. But it wasn't your mom. It was your environment. So in the world of biohacking, I've been working on teaching people, here's how to reduce the stress your environment is putting as a tax on your body for no good reason. You can buy this light bulb or this light bulb. If this one increases your cancer risk and ruins your sleep and lowers your fertility, which it does, and this one doesn't, you're going to turn the lights on, like pick the good one. If this coffee is full of mold toxins that break your mitochondria and this other one isn't, you were going to drink coffee, so drink the one that gives you the benefits with less of a cost.
Mm-hmm.
And if we just make the same decisions with better info, then the world changes.
Yeah.
And that's the primary thing behind biohacking is how do we set up the environment so that we have unlimited power and energy and we feel really good? And the change in my life to go from 300 pounds to being 6% body fat, now having lost 100 pounds with a brain that works in ways I never could have imagined. I'll wear the yellow glasses. I don't care because I feel so good.
Yeah.
And someone else say, if you need purple glasses, I'm down. It doesn't matter. You just have to eat the right things. But if you don't think it's in your power, or you think it doesn't matter, or you think you're supposed to be in pain and tired and putting your car keys in the refrigerator, that's not the human existence unless something's wrong.
Yeah, I wear my 100% blue blockers, which are red, at night. My husband calls me like the funniest names. If there's some serial killer, I think her name is Patty Hearst or something. He's like, oh gosh, here comes Patty Hearst. Not really doing great for our love life, but anyway.
A lot of the biohacking devices are not necessarily Victoria's Secret approved, but
yes.
they work. We make red glasses that have a specific tint that are blocking some other colors besides just blue. That we're about to release a study that shows that they change your brain in the same way as advanced meditation. So 15 minutes of wearing the True Dark glasses for sleep, your brainwaves shift like you've just sat there meditating without having to meditate. That's how powerful colors of lights are. Right.
We never learn this stuff. Like we never learn that there's different spectrums, like that the sunrise has all that red light and that later, like you're not getting vitamin D in the morning, you're getting it in the afternoon or you're right. Cause the sunrise doesn't have the vitamin D. It comes later. I only know that from my D-Minder app.
It does come later. And well, think of it like this, and this makes it easier to understand. 2 billion years ago, we were literally bacteria floating in the ocean on Earth. And so bacteria are dumb. They don't have a lot of brain power in there, but they still have to make some basic decisions. The most important one was like, what time of day is it? So they started to recognize the color and angle of the light. So red light in the morning and it's cold. Middle of the day, full spectrum light and it's warm. Middle of the day, that's when the most algae to eat is available because of the sunlight. So if it's warm, there's a bright light above you and there's lots of food, it is noon. And at noon, you should do the things that your body does at noon. And then you get the reverse in the evening. So if you give yourself those 3 times, red in the morning, full spectrum bright overhead and food at lunch, and then less food and dimmer and cooler at night, every system in your body aligns. And I've seen type 2 diabetes resolve from people doing just that, even if they don't change the quality of their food. Because the system that's watching the sun and the temperature, it's the system that controls energy production. It's the system that decides, will I use blood sugar or not? And if it's all broken because your eyes think it's one time of day, your liver thinks it's another time of day, your skin thinks it's the other, that's called metabolic dysregulation. And that's what leads to cancer. It's not the only cause of cancer, but it's something where your mitochondria stop working, you tend to get more cancer. There's a direct association there. So what that really means is, go outside in the morning without glasses on and look at the sun for a little while. Don't stare at it, but just have your coffee outside. Go for a walk.
I stare at it. Is that bad?
In the morning, here, probably not. Just right when it comes up. But if you stare for 5 minutes at the sun, it's going to poke holes in your eyes.
Yeah,
Unless you're practiced. There are sun gazing practices of advanced meditation where you can do it for more, but just be cautious.
Okay.
If people just do that and then do your best to see a sunset and don't eat after the sun goes down, try that for a month. And you'll just say, what happened to me? I'm leaner, I'm stronger, I'm faster. And this is one reason about 2 years ago, I left Canada, where I've lived for 13 years, because even with all the light technology that I know about, you just can't replace the sun. So I moved to Austin. And the primary reason I'm there is I want sunshine.
Yeah. I mean, if I leave California, I'm only going lower.
Yeah.
That's it. I can't entertain anything higher latitude after I've seen what I've seen in the Dominican Republic and the healing that I had. And even just being here in LA when it is sunny, because our weather's changing here.
Yeah, I know, right?
Really, really badly. I see the difference with my blood sugar. And so the formula, sunrise, no glasses, no sunscreen, because you don't want to block it.
Sunscreen's gross.
And then you want to get your sunset and eat before sunset.
Yes.
And wear your blue blockers.
After sunset. Yeah.
That's it. That's your formula, and see what happens after a month.
It's profound what happens. And I want to be really clear. There are people today who will still go out and they'll buy the True Dark glasses and wear them outdoors. Guys, as soon as I walk outside, I take off my sunglasses.
Yeah.
Sunglasses are to protect you from junk light. Like you wouldn't want to eat corn syrup and canola oil, but LED lights are the equivalent of that. I like to call indoor LED lighting birth control lighting, because when you inhibit both a man and a woman's circadian biology, your timing systems, it radically lowers fertility. And what's really is that in much of the world, there are global subsidies for installing energy efficient lighting. And all of them will only pay for bright white lighting, not the warm lighting that you can get for the same cost. And some part of me goes, I wonder if that actually is being used as birth control lighting. Because I know for sure that if you stare at a bright white LED in the middle of the night, not only does it mess up your biology, it attracts 5 times more bugs than the old incandescent lights that we had. So we've had a 60% drop in the mass of insects on the planet. Okay, this is the end of life.
Yeah.
For real. Because insects are a foundational part of our food supply. So why is that happening? Well, clearly glyphosate from Monsanto is a gift that keeps on killing bugs, right? Actually, it's killing soil, which kills bugs.
And us.
And us, yeah.
Sorry, that's my blood sugar monitor, guys.
The fact you can't disable those alerts makes me so angry.
I just changed it to like really high so it'll shut up for a while, because my blood sugar dropped so low. And I was so shaky. I had to drink so much juice, and now it's ping-ponging the other way.
Oh my gosh. Do you need to like do some squats or something?
Life. I mean, yeah, some calf raises under the table.
Oh, you know that trick. Wow, look at you.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at, why are we having an end of the insects on the planet? Lighting and chemicals. Why are we having so many metabolic problems? Lighting and chemicals. Men and women today have half the testosterone they did 30 years ago, unless you're on testosterone therapy, which I am and have been since I was 26. I'm an early adopter, under a doctor's care, with just normal levels. And for people who are looking to have kids, man, when I was 30, which wasn't very long ago, I hope that we don't get pregnant before we're ready. And now they're like, I hope we can get pregnant. I had a 30,
everybody.
Yeah.
I know I couldn't get pregnant.
Yeah, it's not normal.
In the beginning with Kevin, I was like, oh my gosh, we can't get pregnant. My dad will kill me. And then we couldn't. And I know, especially after what you're saying too, I now see the connection between being in studio all day, every day.
Yeah.
And what that did.
Some of the sickest people I've come in contact with are in studios all day. I mean, you spend more time in them than I do, but I have a very big sampling of different people because I've been on a lot of different national TV shows and things like that. And after every one, at least one of the either people behind the desk or the producers are like, my brain is toasted and these lights are killing me. What do I do? And so I'm like handing out glasses, and you go on set in any of the TV series. Like I was up in Vancouver on Legends of Tomorrow, same thing. Everyone's like, my eyes hurt so much. So maybe we could just acknowledge that junk lighting is as bad as air pollution, or as bad as polluted food, or as bad as smoking. And whoever in the government thought it was legal to ban your ability to buy the light bulb you want, I don't know what kind of a country that you think you live in, but I live in a country where that shit is not in the Constitution. I can buy whatever lights I want.
So explain to me what this law is, because I do know that and what started this conversation is you're sitting in front of my reptile light. I have my reptile red light
Makes me so happy.
Is illegal to buy in California. So I had to break the law, guys. I am a criminal, and have someone ship it to me from Boston. So I had it mailed to Connecticut and then shipped out here, because you can't find these red lights, but also anything non-LED like doesn't exist. It's all LED, right? I'm not crazy. Like I've tried to find non-LED lights and I can't.
In July of 2023, the law came into effect where any company selling an incandescent bulb is subject to a fine of more than $400 per bulb.
What's an incandescent bulb?
These are the light bulbs we've had since
The ones we
Thomas
used to
Edison.
have.
Yeah, the ones that screw in and get warm.
And you get a $400 penalty per bulb. And why is that?
I think it's because someone in our government likely has a business agreement with the Chinese companies who exclusively make LED bulbs because we don't make them in the US. I can't explain why any other government person would do that.
And do any other countries have this law?
I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me. A lot of Europe has these, energy efficiency laws. But let's just be really straightforward.
So are the LEDs energy efficient technically? Because I feel like that's all I see advertised.
Here's the weird thing.
I just haven't done all my homework on the bulb thing.
It's sort of like this. If I mixed a whole bunch of chemicals and stuff together and I put it in front of you and said it tastes just like a hamburger, and then I took a cow and made a hamburger and said it tastes just like a hamburger, if they both taste the same, are they the same?
No.
No. One of them is going to jack up all sorts of stuff and the other one's not. So when they say LED lights are energy efficient, they're not. The way lighting works is pure sunlight has a color rendering index, which means how good does it show you colors? And it's 100%. You see everything the way it's supposed to be. We all know what that's like, and it just feels good outdoors. The very best LED bulbs are around 93%, which means 7% of the color that your brain is expecting just went away. It's like having 7% less hearing or 7% less vision, stolen from you by your lighting. But they start at 93%. But after they sit there and they're turned on for a little while, the coating breaks down, and now they're at 85%.
No way.
So 15% of the signal coming into your brain to tell you about your world is stolen by energy efficient light bulbs, which means they're not energy efficient because they don't do the same thing. You can't replace real meat with fake meat unless it does the same thing, and it doesn't. Right? An imitation broccoli made out of petrochemicals wouldn't do the same thing as real broccoli. So I would say these are the least energy efficient bulbs ever, these LEDs, because they don't give our body the right signal from the environment to thrive. And that's all I care about.
And what about the other bulbs that we used to have? Did they give 100%?
The incandescent bulbs, the bulb-shaped ones that got warm, those are 100%, and the halogens are 99.9%. So halogen bulbs were 30% better than incandescent bulbs. So we should all be using halogen bulbs that get warm and burn out, that are easy to manufacture, don't cost very much. And if you want LED bulbs, you should be able to buy them. Just like if you want alcohol that we know isn't good for you, you can buy that, and you can buy cigarettes, and you can buy junk food. So why not buy junk light? Just don't force me to buy junk light.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty pissed off about that.
I'm pretty pissed off too, because it's been hard. There was a light bulb that I did get that's warm. I don't remember how I achieved it, but I did get them. My doctor told me where to buy them. I have to look it up because I have it in Athena's room. So the only little lamp we use in there is this one because I don't want her having any blue light. We don't use lights in the house very much. The one thing that I can say about LEDs is the ones that are trying to replace white light, they suck. But single color LEDs are really useful. Red LED lights that are dim, they have nothing bad in them, and they will not wake up your brain. So interesting.
For children and for nursing moms and for bathrooms at night for young kids, a dim red nightlight, not nightlight, you should sleep in darkness, but a dim red light the kid can turn on and that's in the bathroom. They get up when they're old enough to get up, they pee and they go right back to sleep without really waking up.
Yeah.
They turn on one blue or yellow or white light.
That's it.
Mommy, mommy. And then they're on, your whole sleep is ruined.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask you is, are any red lights good for that reason? So after sunset, you would turn on any red light and you're safe?
Yes, the whole color spectrum of red is pretty good. There's a few little peak wavelengths that have more healing than others, but that's not important. What is important, though, is that your body responds to the color of light. So is it red or blue or whatever? It responds to the angle of light, which is it above you or in front of you?
Oh.
And it responds to the brightness of light. So the light that has no effect on your blood sugar or on your sleep quality is a dimmer red LED bulb that's in front of you or on the floor. And the worst one would be right above you, super bright and bright white. But if you put a super bright, 10-watt LED floodlight above you, it's still too much light, and it'll start telling your body, there's so much light, it must be daytime.
Mm-hmm.
So what you want is relatively dim to medium red lights, not above you if you can do it, and perfection's not required.
What does the above red light do? Because you said above halogen or something, or fluorescent.
If any light is above you and it's bright, it's going to tell your body, well, there's a bright light above me. So some part of your cells,
it mimics the sun because the sun is above us. That's why.
Right. But if it's dim and red, it's not going to affect you. If it's bright and red, it will. And if it's bright and blue, it's going to just blow you out. And you're going to be like, yay, middle of the day. And then your sleep quality is gone.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to figure out, like, even if you put a red filter, like those plastic little filters on the outdoor lights, like, can you just try to block them? Because what I did was my husband made this place look like a park at night because of burglaries and stuff. And so I'm systematically going around and shutting certain ones off and unscrewing them because I'm like, I can't get nightlight because our bodies run on light and dark. So we need the dark just as much as we need the light. So I'm out there and I'm literally giving myself goggles to try to just get the dark.
Oh my gosh. Access to darkness is a human right. We need it as much as we need light. And polluted darkness, it really affects your brain. There's a study from Japan looking at about 800 adults. And they found that the amount of light that comes in around your curtains from streetlights increases depression by 69%.
69?
So, look, darkness is so important. I was at a hotel here last night, and I was really tired because I came in at 1 a.m., or I flew out at 1 a.m. or something, and I just went to sleep. I didn't do my normal thing. I bring electrical tape to my hotel rooms.
Wait, electrical tape to block off the blue light?
Yeah.
Wait, can you tell me what electrical tape? Because I was just in the DR, and the condo was like one of those brand new, everything's a light.
It's horrible.
It's a button with a light on it.
Yeah.
So I kept going around with the only tape I had, which was like a green masking tape, and I had to triple layer it, and that wasn't enough. Then I put tissue paper on top. So it looked like every light in my place had a Band-Aid on it.
Are we from the same planet?
I mean, we're trying. That's what we're doing. So I need the right, even in my bedroom isn't dark enough yet because I have a slider to my bathroom that's got a frosted glass. So the windows out there are bringing in the light from outside. And then my curtains are bringing in a little light because they're not wrapping around enough. And then my TV, which we never use anymore, but it's just sitting there, has that little light at the bottom. So I finally put the tape on there, but it's not fully blocking it.
All right. Electrical tape is this black kind of stretchy tape. It costs $1 or $2 a roll, and it blocks light entirely.
Dwayne, do we have electrical tape here?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Can you give it to me after this? I'm going all the way around my house.
Sure thing.
And so I'm tall enough. One of the things, if you just want to get horrible sleep, go to a hotel and turn off the lights. And the little smoke alarm has a bright green. Green is one of the colors that tells your body it's daytime. A bright green light that goes off every 5 seconds. Like, imagine it was a drum going off every 5 seconds. It is to your cells. You just don't hear it with your ears.
I put pillows all around me. I barricade myself away from the light.
I go through the room and I put tape up right on the thing.
Oh my God, we're the crazy people.
No, we're not crazy.
I know, but it's funny.
Do you know how many hotels I go to do it and it's already been done by someone else?
No.
Oh yeah. This is a problem. Look, if you run a hotel and you're listening to this, run an ad that says that you're doing this. And by the way, I'm talking, I can't announce it yet. I'm talking with one major chain about designing hotel rooms for biohacking for human compatibility because it's not that hard.
Yeah.
Right? So no, your light switches don't need to glow.
Yes.
The stupid phone by the bed doesn't need to blink blue lights all night long. I unplug all the phones. Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Couldn't we just say this hotel has darkness and then I would pay extra for that?
Yeah.
Because that's what everybody wants when they go to a hotel. You don't want blinky crap in
No,
your
you
room.
need your little cave to go to bed.
Yeah. So
that is hilarious. I thought I was the crazy person doing this. I'm like, the cleaning people are going to come in when I leave. And so I made sure I took everything down. But at one point, they had to come in to help me. And I'm like, they're going to think I'm freaking nuts putting Band-Aids all over this place because that's what it looked like.
I don't think you're alone at all. I think they see it all the time.
Yeah, I've not heard anybody. Listen, in
Who talks
my
about this stuff, right?
periphery, I don't have anybody that's going around with tape. So you're my first person. My naturopath is the other one who she just doesn't have lights in her house. Like she's, really intense about all of this, and she doesn't travel really. So 'cause she doesn't want to get microwaved on the plane very much. Do you have any hacks for the plane?
Yeah.
And can you explain to people what's going on to us in the plane?
Sure. All right. The cells in your body that you think just make energy, your mitochondria. They're the power plant of the body from 7th grade.
Yes.
These are at the core of the biohacking movement when I started it. And the idea here is they're environmental sensors. So how much stress is there? How warm is it? What's the light look like? How much energy do I have? What's my insulin environment? All the things. They go, what should I do now? Make electricity, make body heat, make sex hormones, make melatonin, refold proteins so you don't get old, or make stress hormones or make inflammation. I don't know, but they decide. And then each cell, actually this is inside your cell, so each mitochondria, and there's sometimes thousands of them in a cell. Each one makes its own little decision.
There's thousands of mitochondria in each cell?
Oh my God, yeah.
I thought there was just one mitochondria and that was the powerhouse of the cell.
Oh, it's way better than that.
Oh, my biology teacher.
So most cells in your body have a few hundred mitochondria, but your brain and your heart have about 15,000 of these per cell. Remember, these are the parts of you that listen to the world, like the quantum world and the environmental world around you. So they're doing the listening, then they do the deciding based on how stressed you are, how stressed your body is from the environment. They even talk to their other friends and they vote. They use algorithms kind of like what our crypto systems use to establish, distributed ledger of biology about, well, what is the state of the body? Is it daytime or is it nighttime? Am I stressed? Am I not stressed? Should I be in fight? Should I be in reset? And then a third of a second later, they give your brain a signal about what they decided, and you think you decided it. And that is pretty scary. But what it means is you have so much control. Just make the environment so it tells your body the right thing, and then your body will tell you the right thing. But here's the crazy thing. You talked about fertility before. And very few people in the world of mitochondria and biohacking talk about this. And it's in a couple of my books now. We like to think that our hearts and our brains have the most mitochondria. That's not real. Only women have ovaries. And your ovaries have 100,000 mitochondria per cell.
That's the most, more than the brain or the heart have?
They have 15,000.
Wow.
So this is, what is that, 8 times, 7 times? About
That's
7
a lot
times
of
more.
times.
So the ovaries are the most mitochondrial dense part of humanity.
I just got the chills all the way down my body.
Well, think about it. Where does the seat of intuition for women? Like,
yeah.
Women are known for being more intuitive than men. Your mitochondria, and I'm just going to go on a limb here. People think I'm crazy. Your mitochondria drive intuition. And I kind of have a neuroscience company that measures and trains intuition with computers. So there's that.
Wait, so you can test how much intuition you have?
It's harder to test it, but you can train it. And people who go through any advanced meditation practice, including the 40 years of Zen, my thing, they will test higher on scales of intuition.
So wait, I couldn't get pregnant, which means my mitochondria were not happy.
Yes. It's not the only reason you couldn't get pregnant,
but I have
usually.
super intuition.
Mm-hmm.
So how could that happen at the same time?
Well, you can have super intuition and have parts of the system that aren't working.
Okay.
And I could answer some of this that I wouldn't talk about on air because it's probably not stuff that people need to delve into yet. Like there's some topics are just not general conversational stuff.
We like that.
Of course. Let's just say that I've traveled around the world and I've trained with a lot of masters and intuition works in very interesting ways. The thing that's probably driving your ability to have intuition is, it's funny, this is my next book. Like I've been working on it, so it's fresh in my mind.
Nice.
If you walk into a room, you get an immediate sense of like, this is a good person or a bad person, right? And then there's a very, very narrow window. And right after that, you get an emotional sense about the person, or whether you like them or don't like them. And then your brain kicks in and convinces you what you're going to do. And most of us mix up our intuition and our emotional response.
Ooh, no one talks about that.
This is original stuff. Like, this is stuff from my neuroscience company, right?
Wow.
So when you
because
walk
we're always
in,
trying to figure out whether we can trust our intuition.
you have to know what it is first. It's the first signal, but it goes away almost as fast as it comes in. And studies do show people who practice advanced meditation, there aren't studies for this, but I know it to be true for neurofeedback as well, which is accelerated meditation. So if you have a spiritual practice, we'll say, of awareness, you can sense smaller slices of reality. So if you're not a meditator and you're sitting in a room and someone turns the lights on and off really fast, you won't see it. But the advanced meditator will say, that's interesting, the lights just blinked.
Yeah.
And what I notice is the more a person has done meditative work, the more sensitive to junk lighting they are, because you can feel, I can see the flickering lights that other people can't see, and it hurts my brain.
Yeah, I believe it.
Right?
Yeah, I'm super, super sensitive.
So that's
but
probably
I think
a part
also
of it.
when you become aware, like my husband's not a meditator, and I think he thought I was a Fruit Loop for a while, but now he's like, when he gets into an airport, he wants to throw up. He can't be in there anymore. Literally wants to throw up.
I travel so much, you do too, probably 50% now. I have a thing I do when I travel. I'm going to wear the True Dark glasses. There's always a baseball hat. Like, find a picture of me in an airport without a baseball hat. There aren't any, because fans always stop me.
I'm going to do that now because I didn't realize the above the head lighting signals sunshine.
Yep.
I didn't know that. I just knew it was bad lighting anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But that's amazing. I'm never going to be in the airport without a hat again.
And then you do the noise canceling headphones. Mine have wires because I don't think it's a good idea to cook your brain with microwaves. If you just
so the AirPods.
Yeah, so I don't do AirPods.
Yeah, I literally rip them out of anybody's ears I see. I'm always like, out. Get them out.
I don't think it's a good trade. And I just want to be really clear. Wireless technology has changed the world. It has given us so many abilities you wouldn't imagine. As someone who worked in Silicon Valley on tech for a large part of my career, the first time that we were able to do a video call from a car was a miracle of modern engineering with millions of people who worked on it for 50 years. Like, this is spine-tingling stuff. And that can save lives. And it has given everyone who hears this more information than the president had in 1960 available for free at their fingertips. Like, this is cool stuff. So tech has benefits. Bad people can also turn what we built into a surveillance and control platform for humanity. Oops. But it also has a downside, which is the fact that our mitochondria, the foundations of our consciousness, they are directly affected by cell phone radiation. Radiation is kind of a trigger word, but it's electromagnetic frequencies. They're also affected by radar installations. They're affected by the wiring in our houses that have strong magnetic fields. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It just means that if our cells are affected by that, other life forms are too. And maybe we could build electrical and communications infrastructure that gave us life instead of taxing our life. And of course we can do that. We just have to admit it's a problem. To admit it's a problem, if you're a manufacturer, you just signed a death warrant for your company. Because if you say it's a problem, and now you're building something that solves the problem, now you're liable for all of the trillions of dollars of infrastructure that cause people lots of metabolic problems. So who knows? We go back to 1990. 1990 and 92 is when everyone started getting fat and sick. The incidence of everything goes up and up and up. I was just talking with RFK Jr. about that. He's like, it's one of 8 things. He said, let's use our science to figure out what it was. Was it the pesticides? Was it EMFs? Was it a vaccine change? Because they're always changing the scheduled vaccines. Was it something in our food? Was it canola? We don't know. But it was one of these likely things.
I think it's a combination for sure.
Of course it is. It's sort of like, what's the cause of bread? Is it yeast or flour or water or salt? Well, you kind of need a recipe.
Yeah.
So we have a recipe for sick people that's in our environment. And of course, lighting and electromagnetic frequencies are part of the recipe because your body's listening to those as much as it listens to the sound of our voices. It's just, it doesn't show you that it's listening to those because you don't need to hear those to live, to think. But it needs to hear those to live. It's part of your automated processing of reality. Your body throws away most of the signals it gets to give you just a tiny little bit for your small brain to do. The thing about our brains is that they can't process lots of stuff, but they can think into the future and they can imagine, which your cells don't do. So we have fast cells and slow brain. That's really smart. And it's that combination that's led humans to become the dominant species on the planet. It's just frustrating when you don't know that there's a fast, dumb preprocessor for reality.
So AirPods, wireless speakers, all of these things.
I would say minimize your use of wireless, but don't have a panic response to it.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I did years ago, my first book was on fertility called The Better Baby Book in 2011. And my wife at the time was infertile when I met her. And we put together a diet, and I did all the cooking and shopping and some other things and restored her fertility. We had our kids at 39 and 42 with no IVF. And that book has gotten thousands of people pregnant. But I learned about the dangers of EMF and fertility. So I only put my cell phone on my right
thigh
hip, like in a cargo pocket. And 5 years later, I got a DEXA scan. And that part of my right femur was 15% less bone density than my left leg, just where the phone was.
Wow.
Bone density is a marker for metabolic function. So you might notice that my phone is over here.
Yeah.
Because...
Is that far enough, though?
The impact drops off at the cube of the distance, which means even a couple inches makes a huge difference.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Because they say not to even keep it on your nightstand, but that's so hard because, at least for me, my blood sugar unit's connected to it. And
you can still put it in airplane mode, though.
Yeah.
So you should only sleep with your phone anywhere near you if it's on airplane mode. If it's not on airplane mode, put it as far away from you as you can. There's also companies out there that make devices that let your phone be near your bed and charge that will deflect the EMF from it. I don't know the name of that, but they sent me some a while ago. And there's something to be said for not having your phone on when you sleep, because when you sleep, unless you're a doctor on call or something, throughout all of human history, people have slept without phones and it was okay.
I know, but now your baby camera's tied to it and you won't know if the baby wakes up and
Okay.
all of that.
If you don't have a wireless baby camera, do you?
No, it's connected.
There you go. So here's the trick. And now we're getting super nerdy. I don't know how many people are going to care about this. If you must be connected at night, number one, get a therapist to get over your stress, because you probably don't need to be connected at night. But let's say it's the baby case, right? Then what you do is you get an Ethernet cable, those old wired cables. You can get an adapter to plug your phone into that. And now your phone is wired. You can put it on airplane mode and plug it in.
Dwayne, will you get me that cord?
Sure.
It's made by Belkin.
Okay.
Belkin? Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Wait, so we're
getting so nerdy.
I love it. No, but wireless headphones are safer, but they're still not safe, right?
On-ear wireless headphones are better than ones that are inside your ears.
Oh, shit. I use the one inside my ears because I thought...
I mean like the AirPods versus over-the-ear ones, right?
So you use like headphones.
Where are they?
Yeah, let me see. Because I use the white little,
Mine are in my
Apple plug-in ones that go into your ear.
Those work.
Okay, those are okay?
What I do is Sony, I think, they're Sony, makes noise-canceling in earbuds that cancel noise. No, it's Bose. They're Bose noise-canceling in-ear headphones. And they just have a jack on the end of it, and I plug it into an adapter and stick it in my phone.
Okay.
Right? And that way, on airplanes, I turn it on. I can't hear the stewardess talk. I can't hear anything.
Oh, I want those.
Oh, they're not cheap.
Because I'll tell you, the
so
AirPods, when I first bought them, I loved having them in. It would put me to sleep. It was so amazing. And then I found out how bad they were and I threw them away. But it's, you want to figure out the safest way to do this. And what I've heard is that, you have electricity on both sides and it's microwaving your head. So I thought all of this was bad. But so I use speakerphone, and I've been doing that since brain surgery. But at the same time, there's some calls that have to be private. So I would wear the little white headphones.
I use speakerphone 90% of the time when I'm talking to attorneys or loved ones or whatever. Then I use in-ear buds. And on airplanes, I use the in-ear buds, but they're not Bluetooth. They're plugged into my phone.
Yeah.
And that's pretty safe.
Okay.
The very safest, though, aside from speakerphone, is There's a few companies who make these hollow, they call them blue tube, but they're hollow headphones. They don't work very well. But there's actually, the speaker is on the wire down here and it sends the sound through a hollow tube into your ear. Those are for like super paranoid EMF people.
Wait, that's like back in the day when you were little and you used the cup with the string and you would talk to each other? Is that what it is?
Pretty much.
I'm dead.
And I did used to use those years ago just to see. So I'm willing to be curious about things, but look, everything in life has risk, right? And that's okay. And it also has reward. So a pharmaceutical drug, it might have side effects, but it also has something that it does that works. It doesn't mean pharmaceuticals are good or bad. Kale, it's high in oxalic acid and thallium, right? And it has some benefits. They just aren't as high as the risks. So I think kale's a dumb food. But everything on the planet has uses and negatives. So if you stop seeing things black and white and it's polarized, just saying, did I want those harms? What are the likelihood of those? And did I want those benefits? So for me, I like having wireless. But at night, when I don't need it, I flip a switch. I have a remote control by my bed. I press a button, and it turns off the Wi-Fi in my house. Now I don't have Wi-Fi because I'm going to be asleep. I don't need it.
Wait, how do you do that? What's
It's
the
like an
device that
Amazon
does
remote
that?
control lamp switch thing.
Oh my God, Dwayne, you are taking every one of these things and buying them for me.
Got it. Making a list now.
I want that too because my Wi-Fi is like up in my attic.
Yeah, you're not going to go.
I'm not going up there every night as much as I want to. Okay, before we move on, I have to share two companies that have been huge supporters of the show. And friends, thank you for not fast forwarding through these because we won't be able to keep doing this if you do.
That's an honest intro.
Yeah, well, it's true. And people don't know. And I used to fast forward through them too. Now, when I know it's the livelihood of the show, I'm like, okay, I'll listen to it. And by the way,
anyone who fast forwards, I want you to feel guilt and shame for doing it. Okay, keep going.
Okay, so Macy's, guys, you guys know they've been a supporter of the show forever. I actually worked at Macy's, Dave, for years back in the day.
Did
so
you
it's
really?
a very full circle moment for them
cool.
to come on and be a part of this. So guys, summer's almost here. I know I am starting to figure out where I'm going on vacation. Do you have vacation plans already?
I think Italy is in them.
Freaking love Italy. I'm definitely going to go to Greece, I think probably later in the summer, and hopefully hop over to Italy because there's nothing like their delicious food and coffee. But you need some really great things when you go on vacation. You got to pack light because you don't want to have to carry a lot of stuff. So I'm shopping at Macy's for like a comfy, nice shoe that I can wear all day. Sandals are really, really hard because you need to find a sandal that's you can walk in all day. That's the thing that's tough on vacation. So I'm looking for that. But if you guys have any upcoming plans, whether you're packing for a destination vacation or a backyard staycation, Macy's has what you need. You can shop their summer must-haves like summer dresses, wedges, cute straw bags, so much more at Macys.com/own your style. Macys.com/own your style. And if you need some inspo on what to get, you can check out my Macy's wish list using the link in the podcast description where I keep all of my stuff, my favorites, and let me know what you guys end up with. I want some vacation pictures. Also, wonderful pistachios. Are you a pistachio man?
Pistachios have special polyphenols that are really good for longevity.
No way.
I increased my recommendation percentage for pistachios after I wrote my book on human longevity. So yeah, go pistachios.
Okay, so I love wonderful pistachios because, first of all, they're delicious. My husband was like an addict. We'd go to the airport and he'd always get 2 big bags.
Right.
And that's what he would snack on the plane. And then they came out with all these flavors like sweet chili and barbecue and all that. So I'm obsessed with them. But I recently found out that they have so much protein. So each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein. That gives you 10% of your daily value. I did not know about the
Your daily
polyphenols.
value for protein is 60 grams?
It says 10% of your value. Yeah, they say 60 grams. I don't know who.
It's going to give you like 2%. Most people need a gram per pound of body weight, which means you need to eat more pistachios because if you're a 120-pound woman, you need 120 grams of protein.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to eat more pistachios.
More pistachios. Well, guess what? I eat more because they're just so good. I can't stop. It's like my new Doritos. I can't eat Doritos like I used to back in the day.
Yeah.
But these are like my Doritos, and I put them in my salads now.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So I can pack my protein, but you get to do the salt and vinegar ones
What,
in
you
your
ever try,
salad.
like, chopping them up and like putting them crushed on meat or fish when you cook it? That's really good.
Oh,
I'll do a pistachio crust on fish.
Oh my God, I'm doing that because I've had fish out at restaurants when they crush something and I didn't know what it was.
So good.
I'm going to do that. Would you do it on salmon? I just bought salmon.
Yeah, it's good on salmon.
Okay, I'm going to do that on salmon. Okay, so friends, obviously we're pistachio freaks here. We just learned that they have polyphenols. How do you say it?
Polyphenols.
Polyphenols. That's what coffee has.
These are the colored compounds in fruits and vegetables that your gut bacteria eat, and they're tied to mitochondrial function and longevity, which is what we've been talking about. So
Coffee has it too, though, right?
You get more of these polyphenols from coffee than anything else in your diet.
Okay, because I quit coffee at one point, and sometime after surgery, my body wanted coffee, and I was like, it must be the nutrients in there that it wants, so I started doing it again.
Just Google coffee and any disease you want. Actually, don't use Google. They're not that good for search on health stuff anymore. Go to any other search engine besides Google and search for coffee and cancer, coffee and cardiovascular, coffee and prostate, coffee and fertility. And you'll be like, oh my God, coffee's kind of good for you.
Wow. Except for all the stuff you put in it. But if you don't do that, you're good. So Wonderful Pistachios, guys, go to their website, wonderfulpistachios.com, and get yourself some snacks. Back to the airport, because we're talking about pistachios in airports, and I always have them in my travel bag because they don't go bad.
Right.
What else do you do to kind of mitigate risk of all the EMF and all of that at the airport? So you're wearing a hat, you're wearing your sunglasses, you've got your plug-in headphones.
Yep. Well, there's two companies I've worked with, and I appreciate both of them, who make mitigation devices here. One of them is called Lila Quantum, and they make a shirt that has silver and other metallic fibers in it that blocks EMFs. You put your cell phone inside it, or like your CGM, it can't transmit through the shirt. It truly blocks.
Have you tested it?
Oh, yeah, just put your phone inside. It has no signal. Like, it very much works.
Oh.
These are not made up.
Wow.
The other company that makes something similar is called Lambs. And I'm actually an advisor to Lambs. And Lambs is all silver fibers. And so anytime I'm flying, I usually have that on. You can also get pants or like kind of leggings, but I don't like, they're kind of bulky. And I'm like, okay.
But a shirt you can put the shirt you want to see on the outside, so it's easier.
So if you have like the underwear and you get the shirt's protecting most of your
They should make underwear so they could protect your balls.
They make underwear too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they do it for men and women.
I mean, I would think like that's a special area to protect and from EMF.
Right. and then they have they're just hanging there, so they need extra EMFs, right? And then they make like a beanie, which I'm sorry, I'm not going to wear a beanie on an airplane. And then a few companies make baseball hats, but I don't actually wear a tinfoil hat, so I don't worry about that. I just wear like a baseball hat I like, but I wear the shirt. So again, it's like I could wrap myself in foil and be safe, or I could just say, look, I got most of it done. I'm cool.
Dwayne, I need the shirt.
And Lila Quantum also makes a little pendant, and they make a portable device that doesn't even require power. And they've got more than 10 double-blind placebo-controlled trials that their device is affecting blood flow in a better way in the presence of EMFs. So they're doing some quantum stuff. I still can't figure out how it works, and I know the founder well, but that's something that I will travel with. I also use light therapy as soon as I land. So we talked about the power of red and infrared light. So I traveled with one of the True Light devices that my small company makes. And again, like I have big companies. This is one I started 10 years ago because I couldn't buy the stuff. And there's lots of brands out there. But the True Light device has red, infrared, and amber. And I just put it over my abdomen when I land and over my face if it's not too late at night. And it restores electron flow in cells. That's what red and infrared light do, just in general. So you feel
but you can't use them at night.
Well,
now, why can't you use red light at night, but you want red light in your house? This is what confuses the shit out of me.
It's about brightness. So light therapy is super bright. You can put it over your abdomen before bed and you'll fall asleep. But if you put it over your eyes are like, bright light, no.
Okay.
So I'll use it like from the nose down. I just don't want people taking red light and shining it in their eyes right before bed.
Now I get it.
But there are studies showing that if you read under dim red light, that your vision improves. And if you close your eyes and do red light therapy over your eyes, your vision will also improve. The health of your eyes will improve.
Wow.
So
I do red light every day.
It's just a nutrient. It's like you need to take your vitamin D. You also need to get your red light. Yeah. And since you're not outdoors getting red light from the sun all day long, then and you're indoors getting lots of other colors and no blue and no infrared, is it any wonder that red and infrared, the two missing colors, when we add those back in our body, that we're healthier? Light is a nutrient. heat and cold are a nutrient, right? Social connection is a nutrient, and intimacy is a nutrient. And these are all the things, when you get them in balance, your mitochondria chill out, and then they just make pure energy, and then you're more intuitive, you're more conscious, you're more loving, you're more connected, and everything works well. And if there's interruptions because no one told you that you have junk light, and no one told you that you don't have any friends because you're spending too much time on social media, and people don't know it, but the average number of close friends people have is a third of what it was a while ago.
Yeah.
So you're thinking, what's wrong with me? And you're like, I only swipe whatever direction from my sex life. You're not getting nutrients from any of the places they're supposed to come from.
Yeah.
And biohacking is this idea that you set up the environment around you to make your body run at full power, which makes you able to evolve and be more conscious. And I know, because I study mitochondrial biology and I'm a computer hacker guy, we know what the code in our cells is written to do, and it's to make us survive. And when you harness this right, we are wired to support other human beings and to support the environment around us. It's in our bones.
Okay, friends, that is part 1. Come back for part 2. We go deep into menopause biohacks, and why routines are not important and possibly could be bad for you, why coffee is dehydrating, the real reason, I had no idea, and how he has solved that problem. Ketosis, why we should be in ketosis, MCT oil, and how that'll help type 1 diabetics, and so much more. Come back. In the meantime, be nice people, make good choices, and be present.
This podcast and all related content published or distributed by or on behalf of Maria Menounos or mariamenounos.com is for informational purposes only and may include information that is general in nature and that is not specific to you. Any information or opinions expressed or contained herein are not intended to serve as or replace medical advice, nor to diagnose, prescribe, or treat any disease, condition, illness, or injury, and you should consult the healthcare professional of your choice regarding all matters concerning your health, including before beginning any exercise, weight loss, or healthcare program. If you have or suspect you may have a healthcare emergency, please contact a qualified healthcare professional for treatment. Any information or opinions provided by a guest expert or host featured within website or on company's podcast are their own, not those of Maria Menounos or the company. Accordingly, Maria Menounos and the company cannot be responsible for any results or consequences or actions you may take based on information or opinions.